Good afternoon, dear students. Today we will learn about the narration of imperative sentence. When we are learning about narration of imperative sentence, then first of all, we should identify the type of sentence. How we can identify imperative sentence? In imperative sentence, we will have verbs first form plus object. There will be no subject in written form, but you is considered as subject of our imperative sentence. To understand them easily, we can change our imperative sentence into two parts. First is our affirmative sentence. Affirmative imperative and negative command. Sentence of negative command. First of all, we will learn how to change narration of affirmative sentence. In affirmative sentence, we will have sentence maybe of order, maybe of request, maybe of advice. If we have to change our said to according to our sense of the sentence. If in our sentence there is order, then our said to will change into ordered. If we have sense of request, then our said to will change into if we have request. Then we will change our said to into requested. If we have in sentence sense of advice, then we will change our said to into advised. If in our sentence there is no order, there is no request, and there is no advice, then we will change our said to into asked. First of all, how we will change our narration of affirmative? Then first of all, what we should do? First of all, we should identify the type of sentence, and when we are going to change our narration, then we should see if our sentence starts, if our reported speech starts with verbs first form plus object, then that sentence will be in imperative sentence. Then when we will go to change our said to, then we have to see the sense of the sentence. First of all, if the sentence, if our reported speech is giving the sense of order, then we will change our said to into ordered. If it is giving the sense of request, then we will change said to into requested. And there may be we can find the words please or kindly in the sentence of request. And when we have please and kindly word, then when we are going to change narration, then we have to remove these words. We will remove. We will remove we will remove kindly or please word. Okay. In this way, we will change our narration. And if we have the second thing, When we will remove, when we will remove inverted commas, then in place of inverted commas, we will use to. When we are going to change narration of imperative sentence. Okay. Now I am going to give you examples how we can change. First of all, Ram said to me, join my company. Ram said to me, join my company. Now first, what we should do, first of all, we will see the sense. Now Ram is saying to someone, join my company. In this sentence, there is no sense of request, there is no sense of order, or there is no sense of request, no sense of order, and no sense of advice. That's why we have to change this said to into asked. How we will change? We will change Ram asked me. Then we will use in place of inverted comma to. Sorry. Sorry. Yes. Ram. Yes. Ram asked me. Ram asked me to join. Now here is my. My is first person. We know S-O-N. We everyone know S-O-N 1, 2, 3. First person will change according to our subject. Second person will change according to our object. And third person no change. Here is my, which is first person. And first person will change according to our Ram because this is subject of our reporting verb. Ram is he. Now we will write he, his, him. And how we will change my? We will write three forms of the I, my, and me. Now we see in place of my we have to use his because we have to change our person to join his company. Okay, now we will see one more example. Geeta said to her father, Geeta said to her father, please give me a pen. Okay. How you will change? Now we have here please word. It means the sense is of request and we have to change our said to into requested. Now how we will change? Geeta asked, requested. Because here we have please word. That's why we have to change please into requested. Geeta requested her father. Now in place of inverted comma, we will use to. Geeta requested her father to give. Here is me. We will write I, my, and me. How we will change person? Me is first person and we have to change according to our subject. Subject is Geeta. Geeta is she. And how we will change? We will write she, her, her. Now in place of my, we have to use here her, a pen. Is it okay? Now we will see one more example. The teacher said to the peon, bring a glass of water. Bring a glass of water. Okay. Now here who is saying, who is asking a glass of water? Teacher is asking from peon. That's why it gives the sense of order. The teacher, we will change our set to the teacher asked peon. In place of inverted comma, we will use to bring a glass of water. Is that clear? Now, the principal said to the students, obey your parents. Yes. Now here principal is giving advice. Okay. Now we will change our said to into advice. How we will change it? The principal advised the students to obey their parents. Yes. Now we see that when we are going to change narration of imperative sentence, then we may, in affirmative sentence, we can divide our imperative sentences into two parts. First is sentence of affirmative, and second is a sentence of negative command. Now we are doing only the narration of affirmative sentences. After these, we will do narration of negative command. Okay, what we have learned now? We have learned here that when we are going to change narration of imperative sentence, then we have to go with the sense of the sentence. Okay, if we have sense of request, then we will change our said to into requested. If we have sense of order, then we will change our said to into ordered. Or if we have sense of request, then we will change our said to into requested. And if there is no sense, if the sentence is no telling about order, request, advice, then we will change our said to into ask. If we have no advice, no request, no order, then we will change our said to into For example, these are some examples. And what we should keep in our mind that when we change our narration of imperative sentence, first of all, when we change our uh, inverted commas, then we have to choose two. We have to put two in place of inverted commas. Okay. Now we come to know that here is join my company. Here in this sentence there is no sense of any, no, there is no sense of request, order, or any advice. So we will change this said to into asked. That's why we have changed this said to into asked. Ram asked me, and in place of inverted commas, we have used here to join his company, and we have changed here persons also. And in second sentence, we see Geeta said to her father, "Please give me a pen." Here the word is please. That's why the sentence is telling to us that Geeta is requesting to her father. That's why we will change our said to into requested. Okay. And in place of inverted comma, we have used here to. The teacher said to the peon, sorry, the teacher said to the peon, bring a glass of water. It means he is giving order. The teacher, sorry, here will be ordered. The teacher ordered the peon to bring a glass of water. Okay. The principal said to the students, obey your parents. Here principal is giving advice to the students. That's why we have used here the principal advised the students to obey their parents. This is narration of imperative sentence. Which now we will learn narration of negative command. Imperative sentence, but sentence will be of negative command. Sentence will be of negative command. We can divide in three parts of negative command. We can, here also we have to change our inverted commas. We have to change our inverted commas. How? We can change our inverted commas into asked or told. This is one type, this is one way. Second way is we can change our said to into forward. And third way is to change our said to into prohibited or prevented. Okay, these are the three ways to change our imperative sentence, negative command sentence, to change narration. How we will come to know that our sentence is of negative command? Then there we will found don't go, don't run. This type of sentence will be of negative command. Is it okay? This type, there will be, we will find don't go here, don't. It means our sentence will start with a don't. Okay. And then when we will change our said to, there are three ways. We can change our said to into asked, or we can change our said to into told. We can change our said to into forward also. We can change our said to into prohibited or prevented also. Then how we will change? If we will change our said to into asked or told, then what pattern we have to follow? We have to follow not plus to plus verbs first form. This is our first pattern. Okay. Now here, if we will change our set to into forbade, then we will use forbade plus object plus to plus verbs first form. Okay. If we will change our sentence into prohibited or prevented, then this will we will use prohibited or prevented plus object, we will use from plus verbs first form plus ing. These are the rules. Whether we can change our set to into asked or told, whether we can change our set to into forward, but always keep in your mind when we are going to change our set to into forward, then we will not use not. Why we will not use not? Because not itself is in forbid. Forbid gives the meaning of not. That's why we will not use not when we are going to use forbid in our sentence. Now let's see example. Ram said to the students, don't go out. First of all, what we will do? First of all, we will check what type of sentence is out. Now, when we see our sentence, then we will check. Here is don't. It means our sentence is imperative, but sentence is imperative of negative command. Here is don't. That's why this sentence is of our negative command. And we know that there are three ways to change the sentence of narration. Imperative sentence, negative command sentence, we can change in three ways. Then we can change our set to into asked also. How? Ram asked the students, here is, we have to use, this is the rule we have to follow. We have to use not first, then to, then verb first form. Yes, we will use first of all not, then we will use not to go out. Now see, I have told to you when we will change our said to into asked or told, and when our sentence is in negative command, then what we will do? First of all, we will change our said to into told, and then we will use not before to. Here we have to keep this thing in our mind. We have to use not before to. Okay. And in this way, we will change. Ram asked the students not to go out. Now, we will see one more sentence. Geeta said to me, don't run, don't run in the room. Yes. Now, this is also negative command imperative sentence, and we have said to. We can change it into said to also, but now we will change it into forbade. Now, Geeta forbade me to run in the room. Yes, in this way we will change. Gita forbade me. Here we have used here forbade. That's why we are not using not here, because forbade itself gives the sense of gives negative sense. And if we will change this said to into prohibited or prevented, then how we will change this sentence? Then see, we can change it. Gita prohibited or prevented me from from running in the room. In this way, we can change. Now we can see that there are three ways negative command sentence, and if we will change this said to into asked or told also, how we will change? Then once more we can see Gita asked or told. We can also use told me not to run in the room. Yes. Now in this way we see that if we are going to change narration of imperative sentence, then we can see there are two types of imperative sentence are there. First of all is affirmative sentence. Then if our sentence is affirmative, then our said to will change into ordered, requested, advised or asked according to the sense of the sentence. Then what we will do? Then in place of inverted comma we will use to. Okay, then we will change, and after to we will use verbs first form in affirmative sentence. And if we have a sentence of imperative but it gives negative command, then we can change. There are three ways to change the imperative sentence, to change the negative command sentence. There we can change our said to into asked or told. And then if first way, we have three ways when we change our said to into asked or told, then we use not plus to plus verbs first form. If we change our said to into forbade, second rule is forbade. If we are going to change our said to into forbade, then what we have to do? Then we will use forbade plus, here is forbade plus object plus verbs first form. If we change our said to into prohibited or prevented, then what we will do? Prevented, we will use these words. We will use prohibited or prevented. After that we will use object, then we will use from, and then we have to use verbs first form plus ing. In this way we can change our narration of imperative sentence. First of all, we should understand that imperative sentence we can divide in two parts. The first is affirmative sentence and second is uh, negative command imperative sentence. And we have to see a type of sentence, only then we have to apply the rules of narration. If our sentence is affirmative, then our set to will change into asked. We can change into asked, ordered, requested, or advised. Okay, and in place of inverted comma, we will use to when we are going to change narration of affirmative sentences. But when we are going to change narration of negative commands, okay, then how we will change? There are three ways we can change our narration. First of all, we can change our said to into asked or told. If we are going to you change our said to into asked or told, then we will use not plus verb, not plus to plus verb first form. Or if we are changing our said to into forbid, then we will use forbid plus object plus verb first form. With forbid, we will not use not. Okay. And third way is prohibited. If we will change our said to into prohibited or prevented, then after these words we will use object plus from plus verb first form plus ing. Thank you, beta. If you have any query about the rules of imperative sentence, how to change narration of imperative sentence, then you can give comment. Thank you. Bye.